Welcome back to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network, Detroit's all-digital network, live from MyBookie Studios. It is Tuesday, March 23rd, and it is time for us to name that teammate, one of our favorite segments here on the show. Make sure that you are tweeting at us, Facebooking us, Instagramming, YouTubing, whatever you guys like to do at Woodward Sports to let us know who you want D-Mac to talk about. We're making a list and then keeping them going. All right, so D-Mac, who do you have for us today?
I will rescind over to Maz. And Maz, who do we have for me today? I mean, I know, but I like the lead in from Maz because this person is different. Go ahead.
This is a guy you didn't win a Stanley Cup with, but he was brought here to win one. Number 31, with the best hockey face mask ever. Cujo.
And
Curtis Joseph.
Nickname Curtis Joseph.
And we have some...
Oh, my God, Cujo. Wow. Oh, they're live.
They're live, baby.
Oh, wow. I was
buddy,
like, where did you get that photo of what's up, brother?
An older version of Curtis.
Dude, I'm like, see what I mean? I always say, the one thing about Cujo is that, like I said, if you're going to compare him, and I'm a huge NASCAR, but he's like the Jimmy Johnson of the NHL. He's just like, they just don't come any cooler, no matter what he does. And my memories of Cujo, obviously, we're playing against him, you know, in his St. Louis days and all those teams back in the 90s.
Toronto,
but
Edmonton.
after winning in 02 and having him come here, the one thing is, yeah, you know what? It's unfortunate, the hockey success, but we had fun. It was my last 2 years, so 02, 03, 03, 04, before the lockout that sort of screwed everybody. But, definitely one of the people that I always like to hear the history. And I tell everybody is that I don't know if Cujo can get upset. I know he's got a temper because he's a fierce competitor and he likes goalie fights and stuff. He's been in a few goalie fights himself. So, but how have you been there, Curtis? And Mrs. Joseph, how are you?
She happens to be a friend of Pilar's, by the way.
But no, that's what I was going to ask. When I wanted you to see, if Maz would segue stuff the way that I wanted, right, he would say Curtis Joseph, and I would go, oh, is that who it is? Well, Pilar, before we get into my teammate Curtis Joseph, do we not have a similarity here? Are we not connecting the dots? So,
yes, Mike.
So since, surprise, good to see you guys. I'll let you start, you sneaky buggers, you.
So I actually thought, Curtis and Stephanie, thank you guys so much for joining us, and thank you so much for surprising our good friend here, D-Mac.
Awesome.
Stephanie, thanks for pulling this together. So D-Mac actually always likes to show a picture of him and the teammate that he was talking about. So I think that when we went to you guys, D-Mac was kind of like, man, I sure did get beautiful.
No. I thought it was a picture of Cujo and his wife that you got because you were friends of theirs. And I was like, yeah, there's Curtis. That looks, a little older than when he played. The hair's a little bit cut. Still as good looking as ever, though, right? Like, can you imagine? This guy was a goalie, right? So you know what they say about goalies? Right, there's something wrong with them, right?
But you gotta have something
Cujo,
wrong with you.
listen, Cujo's the most normal. Like him and Ozzy were more on the same cut of cloth, right? And Cujo as a goalie has to stick up for this, but you would never put Cujo and Dominic Hasek in the same category as far as sanity. Because this man is sane and that man is insane.
Yes.
Right? So goalies give a bad rap, but so you're coaching these days, Cujo?
No, I'm just I'm pretty much retired and enjoying life, but I do work up in Toronto as an ambassador. Real easy stuff. So I split time between Toronto and Arizona, and able to enjoy the family, enjoy the kids growing up, and I do miss the game though, Mac. We played hard, and you do miss that aspect.
Well, it's a challenge, right? And it's the era that we played. And let me ask you, as a former player, because the goaltenders have the greatest, view of all the games. Now, obviously, the game has changed a lot. But from your perspective, what is the biggest positive and then the biggest negative of the game that we don't play anymore. Thank God, because I wouldn't want to play it.
Right. So, first of all, me and you, we'd have a tough time. Our jobs are becoming obsolete. I'm under 6 feet, and there's not a lot of fighting left in the game. So,
Right.
It'd be tough for us these days. But I do miss the toughness and that part of the game. The game is very skilled, which is amazing. But there's a little. It's a little too soft during the regular season, and then in the playoffs it seems to change a little bit. But the goaltending aspect, the goalies are amazing. I mean, they've changed. The goaltending position has changed so much from when I started. Guys are huge and they're great athletes, and the equipment's so much better, so it dictates that they can play that way. But so that's a big thing that's changed. But I'm going to say. Yeah, I would like to see a little more toughness in the game. You did a great job of that. You allowed your teammates to play a lot bigger than they were supposed to. So I miss that part.
I think you and I both, because we're such big fans and whatever the game is the accountability. Right, the accountability's gone because you play behind, twist and chase and stuff that would keep everything accountable. So. That's awesome, and thank you. Appreciate it. Do you have any questions for Stephanie?
Stephanie.
Yes.
So D-Mac just said that Curtis doesn't lose his cool and never gets angry. Is that true or false?
It's false, but it's super, super rare that he loses it. And I remember one time we were under a lot of pressure with some stuff that was happening in our lives, and I remember just asking him, like, are you ever going to go postal? I mean, because you're scaring me that you're so calm during this, like, really stressful time in our lives. But he'll get worked up every once. It's not very common.
No, that's the Cujo I'm talking about. Is that it's just
Yeah.
whatever it is that? But there's the fuse in there, and you always love that from your goalie.
But I would say what's crazy is that with a name like Cujo, I mean, I thought of Cujo, and you think of the dog.
Well,
the
look at
Saint
his mask.
Bernard,
I have a
right? Yeah.
picture. I have a picture for you of his famous
This is the
goaltending
best.
mask.
And this, see the sort of the
That's
Cujo, the dog with the
ferocious,
teeth
yeah.
and everything like that.
So
And
you would think that somebody with the nickname of Cujo would be pretty hot-tempered.
Pilar's saying
pretty
that you don't have a
ferocious.
bite, bro. That's
No,
what she's
that is
saying.
not what
He
I'm
said
saying.
You
That's
don't got
not-
a bite, bro. And I'm saying
Here's
that's wrong.
one.
Look at
Here's
that.
one that Mac hit me in the face in practice. Look, it's broken bars and everything. This is we have Stephanie put up a nice display of a bunch of masks. So
That's
here's one that
beautiful.
Mac probably hit right in the face.
That's great decor in that Arizona. I love
if
it.
If I hit you, it was an accident. I was aiming for Hasek and Legacy. I couldn't tell,
course,
so that
of
was all
course.
good.
Curtis, I wanted to ask you, by the way, Tom Mazowitz, thanks for coming on with us. Stephanie, thank you as well. Your years here in Detroit, when you did sign that contract, Kenny Holland brought you over. Tell me about your years in Detroit. I know they were tough because they didn't win a Stanley Cup, and we wanted to win a Stanley Cup with you as our goaltender, but you lost to the two teams that wound up representing the Western Conference in the Stanley Cup Finals. Tell us about your time here in Detroit.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Definitely ran into J.S. Giguère, who
Yep.
was at a 988 save percentage. I didn't play as well as I should have either. Sometimes you don't transition as well. The first year, I definitely didn't play as well as I could have, and I judge that by being able to steal a game here and there, and obviously put up wins. But going against J.S. Giguère, and they went to the finals, and he might have been Conn Smythe winner.
He did.
That's tough, and that's
Devils won,
part
though.
of the game. But the second year, I thought I played a lot better.
No question.
Curtis, typically in this segment, it's D-Mac who's giving great memories of his former teammates. Can you share one of your greatest memories that you have with D-Mac? You can embarrass him if you want. No, I'm kidding.
I do. Of course, these guys know that you gotta. It's tough to beat me to embarrassment because I embarrass myself even more. So that's it. I don't know if other than that's it. Taking pucks off the face and stuff.
Right. I don't have any embarrassing moments with Mac. I always respected the way he played. He played an honest game, and he always made his teammates a lot tougher than they should have been, which is a great sign. And that's I really respected the guys who were able to back up the way they played, and Mac was definitely one of them. I do remember our sons were good friends and hockey players at that time, so I saw a different side to Mac. He was a great dad and a great parent, and those are things that I remember about Mac also.
And you know what? Ironically, right, the greatest thing that I did was the kid's smarter. He got himself into UCLA, graduated. He just got named their head coach of their hockey team for UCLA Bruins there last week. So he's doing good.
Great.
He'll be 20. He's only 24. He'll be 25 in May. So same like you said, these kids are growing up, but we did do something right, brother. We must have done something right, because that's what I always told him, is his love of the game, and you saw it knowing my son and me knowing yours, and these kids have their own love of the game that is different than ours, and so they can express it, the way that they want, and that's awesome. I always appreciate, I always loved you as a teammate. I love the competitiveness. That's the one thing you said, is that you know what, where his fierceness was is the competitor. That's the Cujo, is that the dog is in net and he's a fierce competitor.
It's great to have him here.
Yeah.
Appreciate the time, brother.
Thank you guys so much for coming on. Stephanie, thanks so much for helping us with the surprise.
Yeah, that was
Good job,
We
my
got
friend.
him.
Good
We
job.
got him.
You got him. Got him.
Yep. Thank you guys so much for joining us, Stephanie and Curtis Joseph. A name that teammate. We'll see you guys again soon. Don't be strangers
Thanks,
to the show.
guys.
Guys.
Thank
See you
you.
guys.
Appreciate you.
Love
you.
All
Bye.
right. Later.
So
Well
we
done.
hijacked your segment.
No. Anytime
we surprise
you want
you?
to do that, anytime you wanted to hijack my segment with somebody that we're talking about, that's not hijacking the segment. That's enhancing it, Pilar.
That was Pilar's idea. I came up with Cujo. She writes me later, like a minute later. I know his wife. Maybe we can get him on.